Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be building Sonny's F1 watch from the movie F1. This movie came out in 2025 for those who are watching in the future. It was the coolest watch I've seen in a long time, and I don't know if it's just Brad Pitt's swagger or if it just fits him really well, but I really wanted to build this watch after watching the movie. I'm kind of a watch nerd, so I pay attention to that kind of stuff. Whenever I spot one in a movie, I'm always telling my wife, "Hey, check that out. That's a cool watch." And once I found out that Brad Pitt had this watch specially customized for this movie, I had to try and figure out a way that I could do the same. All right, let's get started. So, first off is the case. The case is a IWC Ingenieur homage. It's a pretty sweet case, very nice stainless steel, really waterproof. It has a screw down crown as well. Seems to be like an awesome bulletproof case. I have a rugged lifestyle, and so does Sunny, so I think this would be perfect. I chose a green and gold dial just like he selected. That was one of the things that he wanted to make sure to have on the watch was a green dial with gold accents and gold hands. I pointed out that little scratch right there. When I was opening the package, I actually scratched it, so I have another one on the way just because that will bug the crap out of me. Next up, we have the NH35. This is going to be the movement for the watch that we're using. It's a mechanical watch, and a lot of people use it for a lot of mods. One of the custom elements that was on the watch that Brad Pitt designed was the back case was shaved down a lot. Let's see if I can screw this case on. And nope. Try again. There we go. This case is, let's measure it. It should be about 12.4, 12.2. Yeah, 12.2 millimeters thick. That's pretty thin for an automatic watch, but let's try and get it a little bit thinner. The fun part is there's that lip right there. That's going to be pretty easy to sand down. It looks like the center part was not as raised up, so I don't know how deep that is. It's kind of hard to measure with the micrometer I have, but hopefully we can take off 0.5 millimeter. That would be the goal. It is a piece of aluminum, and I should be able to sand it down nicely, but let's see if I can measure it beforehand. All right. So the depth of it is about 3 millimeters. Yeah, we should be able to do some good. Maybe 4, I don't know. But we'll find out. Hopefully I don't go too far through it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to buy another case. But that's the best part about this whole watch building hobby is everything's so cheap. I think the movement was $40. The case was $36. The dial was $20. And it came with the hands. So you're really not spending much money. The real watch was $11,000. So we're really kind of undercutting it. I'd say less than 1% of the actual value of the real watch. So yeah, let's see. That is a pretty raised edge. See if I can give you guys a better look. Yeah, there's a good view of it. That is definitely going to be able to have some adjustments. We'll definitely be able to shave it down. But as far as building the watch, let's get started. Let's put the movement on the bench and get the dial pressed on. So these dials normally have 4 feet. I actually took the liberty of twisting them off. You just use a little flat tip needle nose pliers and twist them off. They come off very, very, very easy. So got to be careful. Make sure you get the right ones. Push it on, and it's on. It's that simple. This one has a window date. Some of the NH35s don't have a window date. They just kind of kick over without you seeing the window. It's kind of like a ghost date click over, they call it, but I like the window. I like to pay attention to what date it is, especially with my work. Next up, we have the hands. I like to use a little piece of Rodico to stick it to it. One thing you want to make sure is always adjust the date to just as it clicks over. So that way when midnight hits on the 24-hour cycle, it turns over the date. Let's see if I can turn it right. Almost there. Boop. There. Now it's pointed at 12 noon. Well, 12 midnight. So now I can take the hour hand and install it directly at midnight. Normally I use watch hand press tools, but I've found that the tip of a pen, a Bic pen, works really well. It has a much larger circumference and it pushes them down super evenly. As you can see, sometimes people struggle, and I really have an easy time with that. But the Rodico left a little bit of a mark, so I gotta make sure and clean that off. Looks good. Next thing I want to do is take the watch and make sure that the hour hand doesn't scratch anything. So we're going to be rotating it around. Looks good, because it may touch a little bit now, but after a few days worth of rotation, you're going to start seeing scratch marks. And don't ask me how I know that. My first watch I built was not that much of a success, but that's the best part about the hobby. Like I said, it's easy, it's cheap. The next thing I want to do is put the minute hand on. I like to use that same press because it's a little bit larger, and the tools you get from AliExpress aren't the best. They're kind of small and they don't press on very well. So normally it takes me about 30 minutes, but I'm having a pretty good success pushing them on right now. All right, maybe I'm going to break out the tool. Let's see. The black side is the biggest side, and then you have the white one, which is a little bit of a dome, and then a couple of other utensils as well, different colors that actually get smaller and smaller. But look at that. Perfect. Beautiful. Let's rotate it, make sure everything's good. Nobody's touching. All right. And then you'll see the date click over. Click. Look at that. That's perfect. It bugs the crap out of me if I don't get it on the dot, because every time you look at the watch, it's like 12 o'clock hour hand, 12:03 minute hand, and you're just like, this is so sloppy. I'm better than this. So next up is the second hand. I've adopted this little method where I put a piece of Rodico on the end of the white side, and then I just take the second hand. These are some tiny components, and I actually wear glasses. I'm 33 years old, and I don't wear glasses normally, but I put on readers for this, and I have to get down low. There's a tiny little male piece, and the second hand is a female piece, and you got to get it on there. Let's see if I can get this first try. Let's see. Come on, get in there. Yep. Push a little pressure. Nope, that did not work. Let's try again. You know, I think I might have a little too much putty on there. Come on. Try again. And nope. This is the most frustrating part of the entire watch build. And as you can see, I shake. I am not the most steady hand, but I'm still able to get this stuff done. Just takes a little bit of patience. And don't press too hard, because if you do, you'll end up damaging the train of wheels behind, because it is a mechanical watch. And let's see. Pull it out, spin it around. Looks like everybody is clear, and we are doing good. All right. That was probably the most painless hand installation I've ever done. So if you don't go as fast as I do, don't feel bad, because I assume if you're watching this video, you're also building a watch. So the Seiko mod game is addicting. Beware. You buy one, you're going to end up buying 6 more. I started giving these as gifts to my friends. I started right before the tariffs of 2025, before DJT got in office and started switching things up. And afterwards, the payment to AliExpress started increasing, because they increased all their tariffs, and it ended up being kind of a 20% higher increase in each watch. But I mean, when your original watch is $11,000 and you're just making kind of a knockoff version, it's not a big deal. I had already cut the stem to the right size. I'm sure you could check out other YouTube videos. There's lots of people that show you how to do that. You basically take the stem that it comes with and cut it and twist it onto the crown, and then you use a little red Loctite to lock it in. See, this is a screw down crown, so this is a pretty waterproof watch. So let's make sure the gasket is nice and even, make sure there's no dust on it. And this is the most, I wouldn't say important part, but I think I want to get started on this, and I don't want to have the whole watch on the sandpaper. So I think we're just going to work with the back first. first method I decided to give a shot was just going for it, sticking it to the table and giving it a rub. But I'm going to tell you what, that little piece heated up so fast. I decided this was just going to take forever and ever and ever. I think I fast forwarded maybe 3 to 10 minutes right here, and I didn't even do a dent. So I had to take it over to, what is it called? A bench grinder or a rotating, no. What is it? It's like a loop, a belt loop sander, a belt sander, a belt sander. That's the word. I had to stick the socket into it to hold it and then put it on a belt sander to get it ground down. And it took me about 30 minutes. It was getting super hot after about 10 seconds of grinding. So every 10 seconds, I had to dump it into a water cup to cool it off. So that was probably the longest I had spent on any watch customization. But what I'm doing now is I want to keep that brushed finish. And one way to do that is to put a ruler down on sandpaper and kind of go back and forth the same direction. You should go only one direction and keep it with like some orientation marks. But I'm just kind of over it at this point. I've been really, really sweating it, trying to get it thinner. But let's see. I'm going to put some direction marks on it so that way I can actually see where I am and not keep making circular sand marks, because I do want it to look somewhat decent. It is going to be against my wrist when I wear it, and no one's going to see it. It's actually a lot smoother now, so it should just wear more comfortably. I'm actually between sizes on the bracelet link, and I think this is going to give me a little bit more room. Hopefully, if we take off at least 0.5 millimeter, but you can see I'm just going through sandpaper, and that's, I think, 100 grit. I can't remember what it said, maybe 120. But yep, just lots and lots and lots of sanding. We got to make sure I'm going the right direction. And this is the part that took forever. I will admit, it just was endless sanding. Let's see. What I ended up doing is putting it on the socket, super gluing it on, and then just taking the sandpaper and kind of spinning it so that way I could get that outer edge too, because it looked really bad with just the center sanded, and it needed a little bit of help. So, all right, let's clear this desk off now that we are all sanded and wipe it down. This is the fun part. This is going to be the was it worth it moment. And because I am voicing over in the future, I'm going to tell you it definitely is. It is such an awesome watch. Let's put the little work pad down and the watch. Okay. Oops, got some radical on my nail. That stuff is really crappy. I got the Chinese version. It just came with like the watch assembly kit, and it sticks to everything and leaves a residue. So definitely buy real Rodico. It's the same price. Let's see. Let's screw it down. Come on. Uh-oh. Did I mess up with the threads? This could be bad. I was working with it for a long time. Uh-oh. All right. Let's touch this. I can't damage the watch. That would be terrible. All this work for nothing? Nope. Come on. Sit down. Just one time, please. Come on. Oh, that feels better. There we go. Whew. Okay. I need to go change my underwear. All right. Let's tighten this guy down. Twist it on. Put it all back together. Drop the pin in. Push it. And we're done. Look at that. It's not the same exact dial. It does have that like sunburst that the Engineer IWC has. But I just found a cool quote-unquote S dial from AliExpress, and really enjoyed the way it looks. I wasn't too fond of the like vertical and horizontal checkered pattern texture, just because they didn't have any gold dial elements at all. It was just one color, and I really wanted to represent the watch that he did, so I had to go for this one, and I am so happy. Look at it. It is such a pretty watch. It makes me so happy that I was able to get it done, and now I feel like Sunny Hayes. I bit of a race head myself. I follow F1 and I have a racing sim at my house. So to have this watch on my wrist while I drive is going to make me feel pretty cool. But I think we need to see what I did, see if it's thin, or is it going to be a disaster and only half, like 0.2 millimeter off. So if you remember from the earlier in the video, it was 12.2. Let's see. So 12. All right. So that's where it was, 12.1, and boom. Oh, there we go. Settled at 11.3. I took pretty much a millimeter off there. I think I could sand it down a little bit more, and I might afterwards, but a whole millimeter off a watch thickness is a ton. And if you have a watch at home, you know that 11.3 millimeters is very thin. I can see why Brad Pitt wanted that specifically done on his watch, because it looks so cool when it sits really low on your wrist. There's nothing more annoying than a big, bulky ladybug dial on your watch that just sticks up and catches on everything. That's one of the best parts about the watch from the movie. I just loved how it set on his arm. And let's put a picture of the IWC next to it. There you go. Gold hands, green dial, shaped case, 1 millimeter. We got this. And here's a picture of it in the wild and on my wrist. I do have a 6.25 inch wrist, so it's pretty small. But all right, that's going to do it. I want to thank everybody for coming along. And if you feel like you enjoyed that movie so much that you like the watch and you want to build another one, you can do it. It's pretty easy. AliExpress.com. I'm not going to put any affiliate links down at the bottom just because I don't have any, but it's pretty cool. All right, until next time, guys. Have a good one. Bye.